12 of the country's best investigators searched for the missing evidence that could save a billion-dollar company. They questioned executives, scanned every computer, and accused innocent employees. Every lead ended in failure. Then an old office cleaner quietly walked into the conference room and said he already knew who was lying. Within minutes, the CEO was on his knees begging for forgiveness. Stay with me, because every second of this story changes everything you think you know about power, honesty, and karma. Before we continue, if you enjoy emotional stories filled with shocking twists, real-life lessons, and powerful karma, take 1 second to subscribe. It helps this channel bring you more unforgettable stories every week. David Morgan had spent nearly 30 years building one of the largest technology companies in the country. Newspapers called him a genius, investors admired his confidence, and employees believed nothing could ever shake his empire. When confidential research worth hundreds of millions suddenly disappeared, David immediately hired 12 famous security experts. Each one promised to solve the mystery quickly. But after weeks of expensive investigations, every report contradicted the previous one. Suspicion spread across every department. Friendships collapsed, and innocent workers lived in constant fear of losing everything they had worked for. While executives argued inside polished meeting rooms, an elderly cleaner named Samuel quietly continued his nightly routine. Most employees barely noticed him, pushing his cleaning cart through empty hallways. Samuel never interrupted meetings, never complained, and never sought attention. Yet years of working late had allowed him to observe countless conversations that powerful people believed nobody else could hear. He watched nervous expressions, careless mistakes, and hidden relationships that expensive investigators completely ignored because they never considered someone like him important enough to notice. The investigation became even darker after several employees were suspended without proof. One young engineer lost his reputation overnight because the experts insisted digital evidence pointed directly toward him. His family faced public humiliation, and his young son stopped going to school after classmates mocked his father as a thief. Samuel watched the pain silently. Something about the accusations never felt right. Every night, he replayed small details in his mind until one forgotten conversation suddenly connected every missing piece like a completed puzzle. The following morning, Samuel respectfully asked the receptionist if he could speak with the investigation team. Everyone laughed at the request. Some executives rolled their eyes, while others joked that perhaps the cleaning supplies had uncovered the missing files. Samuel remained calm. He simply explained that one question had never been asked, and without its answer, the investigation would never find the real criminal. His confidence irritated the experts, but the CEO reluctantly agreed to give the old cleaner 5 minutes to speak because every other option had already failed. Samuel slowly described seeing the chief operations manager entering the archive room every Friday evening, always carrying an empty briefcase and leaving with it noticeably heavier. He also remembered hearing the manager arguing over the phone about secret payments from a competing corporation. None of the investigators had checked the old security cameras near the maintenance corridor because they believed those cameras covered only cleaning equipment. Samuel knew otherwise because he cleaned that corridor every single night. The forgotten camera footage was finally recovered. What appeared on the screen stunned everyone inside the conference room. The operations manager was clearly seen copying confidential files before secretly handing them to an outside contact. Even more shocking was the appearance of David Morgan himself. The CEO had discovered the theft weeks earlier, but chose to hide it from shareholders to protect the company's market value. His silence had allowed innocent employees to suffer, while the guilty remained protected. At that moment, the room became completely silent. The board of directors immediately confronted David with the evidence. His confident voice disappeared as every excuse collapsed under undeniable facts. Investors withdrew their support. The dishonest manager was arrested, and the innocent engineer was publicly cleared of every accusation. Standing before hundreds of employees, David slowly walked toward Samuel with tears in his eyes. For the first time in decades, the powerful CEO knelt before the quiet cleaner and apologized for ignoring the value of ordinary people. Samuel accepted the apology without anger because he believed truth was never about revenge. It was about restoring justice before more innocent lives were destroyed. Months later, the company introduced new leadership based on transparency and respect instead of fear. Samuel never accepted promotions or financial rewards beyond what he truly needed. He simply returned to his nightly routine with the same quiet humility that had always defined him. Employees who once walked past without greeting him now stopped every evening to thank him for reminding everyone that wisdom does not always wear expensive suits. Sometimes the greatest truth comes from the person nobody thought was worth listening to. Power can hide mistakes. Money can buy silence. Titles can create fear. But truth has one remarkable habit. It always finds a voice. Sometimes that voice belongs to the person everyone ignored. And when karma finally arrives, even the most powerful people can only kneel before the truth. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that honesty always wins in the end, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with someone who believes that kindness and truth are never wasted.